Dan King's the good night Logan. I'm happy to see you. Uh, Gina Gumdunk um, Hangum, long time no see. Okay, it's 12:01. I think we'll get started. We're going to keep our tradition going of Haida Nation anthem and class prayer and class greeting. So need to put this at 75%. So we have to be standing for the Haida Nation anthem. Tlejugia. All rise for the Haida Nation anthem. Yo ho we, yo ho we, yo we hey hi yo ho we hey hi yo ho we yo ho we. Yo, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, awi, 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 yo, yo, we, hey, yo, we, we, hey, yo, we, 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 oh, ooh, you may be seated. Okay, now we go into class prayer and class greeting. These give you the tools for how to start a prayer like they would have done um, Awash Hagwi'u a very long time ago before the missionaries came. And then the class greeting, um, it starts off with pleasantries that we need to know, especially if we're introducing ourselves or making a speech. Okay, meeting prayer or class prayer. O sing shanawai, O sanang itlakdas, O salana, ugan sudas, kasan itlanga gudang. Happy on what we are saying. Aji singayan, talang kil lagan. We thank you for this day. Ayat atlan ilku, kajkit samdalanga talang kil lagan. We thank you for gathering us here today. Hugan telling us thus, eat kashlite, whatever we are about to do. Help us. Daman talang istiye ana, so that we could do it right. How us sing shanawan. How us sanang itlakdas. How us salana. Akun anch hita. Let it be as is. It's also our version of amen. Class greeting. Itidasa Harala Isis di Tolan Achananas di Gudinai Lagen Dalang Isastes di Gudinai Lagen Dalang Esan di Hanilgan Ayat Kilang Talang Skatang Dalang Anskil Lagen Jahawa U Had Kil Talang Skata Sayin. Greetings, good people, my friends, my family. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that you guys have come. I am honored with your presence. Today we are learning our language. I thank you guys. Thanks a lot. Let's learn Haida. Sun Swansung on Monday, we went over this document here. And so we'll do it again since um, those students aren't here. Um, so it's about questions and responses. And questions and responses, uh, being able to hear and recognize the question and being able to formulate a response um, brings us closer to immersion. And in fact, this um, will be a mini immersion. So, Goose Gal Ejun, what is this? The question could also be framed simply Gusu Ejun. These are both from Dr. Irma Lawrence. Her Haida name was Al Juf. So if you hear me saying Dr. Al Juf, that's who I'm referring to, Dr. Irma Lawrence. So Goose Gal Ejun, Wadu Gusuijan, what is this? Nanjaragan unset, dash wait gusu.
Guskao Ijung or Gusu Ijung.
Okay, how so we have a picture, it's clip art, but it's still obviously a coho because it's silver in color and has black spots on its back. So we're going to answer the question two different ways. The first way is um, we're going to answer it specifically for what it is. Kai Giao Ejun. Kai Giao Ejun. Kai is our word for koho. Ya is possessive, and with u following ya, the pronunciation changes to Giao. And then we have Ejun is. Kai Giao Ejun. Kai Giao Ejun. Kai Giao Ejun. Nanjaragan unse datwe gusu.
Taigao Ijung.
Ong. Now, okay. So we said this is a coho in Haida. Now we're going to give the generic response. We're going to say this is a fish. Qing Giao Ejun. Qing Giao Ejun. Qing Giao Ejun. Qing Giao Ejun. Nanjaragan unset datwe gusu.
Qingyao Ijung.
Ong, how okay, and then we have the question again, and um, I'm mostly using Dr. Al Juth's format with a possessive Gus Jiao Ejun. what is this? And I realize this picture could be many things, mountain, river valley, but in this case, Thai Huntlai Coho stream. So Thai Huntlai Gao Ejun, Thai Huntlai Gao Ejun, Thai Huntlai Gao Ejun. This is a Coho stream. Nanjadagan Unsit.
Thai Huntlai Gao Ejung.
Ong how Huntlai is a word for the water, or specific water, or stream, creek, river. Okay, we have another question. This time we're gonna say it. Guskiao Ijeng Nanjadagan Unsit.
Goose Gao Ejung.
How So we are using Old Haida. Out Jiao Ijeng. This is an eagle. Out Jiao Ijeng. Out Jiao Ijeng. Out Jiao Ijeng. This is an eagle. Nanjaragan Unsit Dashway Gusu.
Hut Gao Ejung.
How Okay, so we have the same question. Guskiao Ijeng. We won't repeat it this time, but here is some artwork of um, a raven flying over water. And I'm using this depiction on purpose because of our phrase. Yash Huntlai Jiao Ejung. This is Ravens Creek. And in Haida Gwaii, there really is a place called Yash Huntlai, Ravens Creek. So that's why I'm using this image. Yash Huntlai Jiao Ejung. Yash Huntlai Jiao Ejung. Nangjaragan Udsit Dashway Gusu.
Yash Huntlai Gao Ejung.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Yash is borrowed from the Tlingit word yesh for raven. Um, so we have the same question, Goose Gao Ejung, what is this? Here we have a picture of a beautiful raven, but we're gonna respond in Old Haida. Um, Now I grew up hearing Huya for raven in Old Haida, so that's what I'm used to. You won't, however, won't find it in a dictionary like that. I believe in the dictionary it's Huye. Um,
I was just looking at that today.
oh wow, what a coincidence. That's amazing.
And it's
Um,
funny because I've seen it spelled the way you have it, but I hadn't noticed it was spelled that way in the dictionary before today. And I was thinking I was going crazy.
oh yeah. Yeah, this is another spelling of it, and this is how they spell it in the dictionary. But very few people actually use the dictionaries version, um, more people use Huya. Um, as a matter of fact, um, um, Yaklanas Hatai Udi Ijun, I'm a Yaklanas Haida. Um, Huya Hadas Udi Hasi Ijun, White Raven is one of my crests. And so it's also my second Haida name, Huya Hadas, uh, White Raven. So let me take Huye out. Um, so our response in old Haida, Huya Kiao Ijun, this is a raven. Huya Kiao Ijun. Huya Kiao Ijun. Nangjaragan Unsit.
Huya Giao Yijun.
How okay, this time we are gonna say the question. Um, so we will be used to it. Goose Gao Ijin, what is this? Nangjaragan Unsit.
Goose Giao Yijun.
How So this is clip art of a moon. So our response is Kung Giao Ijin, Kung Giao Ijin, Kung Giao Ijin. The underlined K is pronounced from back here. Block off there, folks, and pronounce the K. Kung Giao Ijin, Kung Giao Ijin. Nangjaragan Unse.
Kung Yao Yijun.
How Okay, we're gonna skip. I'm gonna say this, but we're not gonna repeat it. Guskao Ijin. Now, this clip art is a sunrise, but the other word for sunrise is dawn. So that's what we're going for here. Um, Sanjlan, Jiao, Ijin. This is dawn. Sanjlan, Jiao, Ijin. And then I have the phonetics down below. But Sandlan, Giao, Ijin, Nanjaragan Unsit, Dashwe Gusu,
Sandlan Giao Yijun.
How I like your accent. Um, have you um have you been keeping up with Xaad Kil, or do you just um naturally have uh the accent with you when you speak it?
I've been keeping up a little bit. I just started classes with Xaad at the University of Alaska this semester too, so that's helping.
Oh, I'm in that class too. I haven't seen you. Maybe you're in a different one.
I'm in the 107 in the evening distance learning class.
Okay, I'm
On
in the
I think
4:30
you're
to 6
teaching your
class.
yeah, I think you're teaching your evening.
Oh, I
That's why
see.
I haven't, yeah, that's why I keep getting the emails, but I haven't been able to go because it's a conflict.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get it. Um, but it's very cool that um you still have your accent when you speak Hard Kill. So you, for instance, you don't sound rusty at all. Um, So it sounds like you are on top of your game, is what I'm trying to say.
I I will take the compliment. I don't know if I have put in the work to feel like I've earned the compliment. I think more it's just I am lucky with this sort of stuff. And it's one of those things that once I pick it up, I have a pretty easy time refreshing it.
Yeah, and your pronunciation and your accent is really good. Um, a lot of people leave off the accent, and when they do, um, it may not sound um, Haida. Um, so I love hearing your accent. Okay, we have this
Oh,
question on Guskiao Egan, what is this? And we have clip art of the sun. So our response is Juyai, high tone mark there. Juyai, Jiao, Egan. This is the sun. From listening to elders and tape recordings, sometimes they would pick a part of the word and um, really enunciate it. So in this phrase, I'm going to go for enunciating yai. So using an accent plus hitting the tone mark. Chu yai, jiao, ijin. Chu yai, jiao, ijin. Chu yai, jiao, ijin. Nang jaragin unsit.
Juyai Yao Yijun.
How Okay, we have to ask this question again. We will repeat it. Gus Giao Ijun. Nang jara kanunse.
Guskiao Yijun.
How So we have clip art of a house. There's different ways to say house in Haida. So they're using na and then the possessive. So na Giao Ijun. This is a house. Nagyao Ijun. Nagyao Ijun. Nagyao Ijun. Nang jaragin unsit dafwe gusu.
Nagyao Yijun.
How Okay, we're gonna skip that question and go right to the response. I'm using this photo in particular because my non grew up in this house in Howcan. And when George F. McDonald, when he did his slides of Howcan, he pointed out that this house was oldest because the totem pole in front of it was the oldest in the village. My non's maternal uncle um, also had a grocery store in this longhouse, so it doubled as a grocery store. So uh, Jiao Ijun. This is a totem pole. Jiao Jiao Ijun. Now this glottal stop here, um, it really is working as a slight pause. Sometimes we have glottal stops and we just power right through them. This isn't the case. So we say kia kia. If we're powering right through, it would be a long jiang type of thing. But kia jiao Ijan. Kiaong. Kiao Ijan. Nangjaragan unse.
Gyaong, gya, gya. It's two of them right in a row.
Yeah,
Gyaong, gyao ijeng.
on. Good recovery. Okay, now we finally have a different question. Um, Gusu Dungastan. Now, this question is usually asked rapidly, like all in one go, no pausing. Gusu Dungastan. Gusu Dungastan. Gusu Dungastan. Nangjaragan unsit. Dashway Gusu.
Gusu dungestong.
What are you doing? So we have clip art of a boy reading, and but I answer it as Schlau Talidadang. I am reading. Schlau Talidadang. Schlau Talidadang. Schlau Talidadang. I am reading. Nanjaragan unse.
Schlau talidadong.
How and so we have the question.
Is
Oh,
that
go
one of
ahead.
those words that's like a loan word that got kind of Haidized?
Um, um, because look what happens when we take away the L and replace it with the R. We have
I kind of
read.
thought that's what was happening. It reminds me of when I was learning Japanese and they have their R is it's actually more of like in between an R and an L. It's and they don't really have an R, they have like an L, but it's kind of in between, or vice versa. I don't remember which one they have and they don't, but it's like our DT situation.
Um,
Our consonant there is like it's in between a D and a T. It's not really either or. And some words it sounds more like a D, and some words it sounds more like a T. They have the same thing, but it's like this. It's with the L.
interesting. Yeah, so Dr. Al-Juf would call this a made-up verb. Um, and of course, we could also call it Haida jargon. Um, there's, like in the Haida dictionary, there's actually quite a few words that are really our Haida jargon, like deuce for cat, uh, but that exists with the Tlingit and Smialga languages as well. And then people say, well, it comes from Chinook or Chinook jargon. But if you go back farther, deuce comes from the English word puss, like puss in boots. And because Chinook jargon is made up of Northwest Coast indigenous languages and European languages. And so, um, like 120 years ago, it was really popular up and down the Northwest Coast um, because it was easy to learn, easy to speak, and you could converse more um, freely instead of having to learn a bunch of different languages. Okay, we have Gusu Dungastan again. We're going to skip repeating it. Uh, we have clip art of a boy sitting down. but the phrase is I am sitting down. Schlau, Tauen, Schlau, Tauen, Schlau, Tauen, Schlau, Tauen. I am sitting down. It's a irregular verb. Nanjarigan unsit.
Llauk awang.
How
Um, Doc Juice, on the last one, I just realized I meant to ask, what's the ta? Is that a marker?
um it's saying that you are doing the activity of reading. So that's what the ta is. Um yeah, it says you're in the activity of doing something, and then whatever the verb is. Um like you see it with sewing as well, to be in the activity of sewing. Um, and yeah, that's the best way I could describe it. I'm sure a linguist would have a could talk about it for 20 minutes, but that's all I know about it. Yeah, to be in the action of doing something, to be actively participating in whatever the verb says that we are doing. Okay, so we are going to say the question again this time because um, um, we have a two-part response coming up. Not two-part, two different ways of answering the question. So Gusu Dangistan and Jadikan Unsit.
Gusu dangestang.
Okay, and so we have a boy playing soccer, um, but we're still answering it like we are doing it. So here's the two responses. Schlau, Nongen, Schlau, Nongen, Schlau, Nongen. I am playing. Nangjarigan unsit. Dashwe gusu
Hlau nangam.
ang. Okay, this one is a little tricky because of the long verb. But if you look in the phonetics, I've broken it down because, for instance, an elder would never say sta and then go into skaunangan. No, they would say it all as one word, staskaunangan. So we have flau, staskaunangan. So we're hitting the tone mark after the K, flau, staskaunangan, flau, staskaunangan, flau, staskaunangan. Nangjarigan unsit.
Hlaus das kaunangang.
That's I am playing soccer. Okay, we're gonna skip Kusudanistan. We're gonna skip repeating it. This is clip art of a singer. Um, so we have Flau, Kajugan, Flau, Kajugan. I am singing. Flau, Kajugan. Nanjaragan unsit Dashwe Gusu.
Hlau kajugang.
Um, Okay, now we have a different question. It means two different things. Histuigen, it means who are you? But it could also mean who is this? Histuigen, Histuigen. And of course, east and u are never pronounced separately. They're going to be said all as one word. Histuigen, Histuigen. As a matter of fact, there's no pause at all. It's all said in one go. Histuigen. Um, and it's usually, we don't say this question passively. We are vocal about it. Histuigen. Who are you? Who is this? Histuigen. Nanjaragan unsit.
Geese to Legion.
How, okay, so this is just a picture of me. And then we are, um, so we're gonna practice Lao Egen. Um, it's me. Um, yeah. But with the sign language like this. So we point at ourselves like this when we say Lao Egen, Lao Egen. For me, um, I would say duck juice. Lao Egen, it's me, duck juice. You could say Nanjaragan Unset. Lao Egen, it's me, Nanjaragan Unset. Nanjaragan Unset. Dashway Gusu.
Nangjaragan unsit Lao Legion.
But with the sign language. There you go. um, okay, now we're switching to basic grammar. So here's a wild bear that walked up on a golf course and gave this guy a hug because he wanted to, I guess. So, so like with Ton, some linguists just refer to Ton as bear. I don't do that because I find it misleading because Ton is specifically black bear. Um, so Gregory Tongiti, Kangan, Gregory Tongiti, Kangan. Gregory sees a black bear cub. Gregory Tongiti, Kangan. Nanjaragan unset dashwe gusu.
Gregory Tangiti Kengang.
Mm-hmm. Uh-uh. Gregory sees a black bear cub. Now, for this phrase, my grandfather sees a canoe. Here's the photo of a man in a kayak looking at an old dugout canoe. Of course, it's not Haida, most likely Polynesian, but in any case, it is an old dugout canoe. So the phrase is Di Chin, Tlu, Kangang. My grandfather sees a canoe. Di Chin, Tlu, Kangang. Di Chin, Tlu, Kangang. Nanjaragan unsit dashwe gusu.
Dichin Plu Kingam.
Oh. Um, okay. Then we have a guy eating a bowl of fruit. So I'm the youngest out of 13 boys. So all my brothers are older brothers. Um, and the same with females. Um, you have to describe if your sister is older or younger. Um, so yeah. Um, D Kwai, Han, Tagan. My older brother is eating fruit. Han is also our word for berry, but it covers fruit as well. Di Kwai, Han, Tagan. Di Kwai, Han, Tagan. Nanjaragan Unsit.
Die Quai Han Tagen.
Hong. No, Okay, we have a black bear that has caught his dinner. He's not eating it just now, but he will be eating it. So we're going to use the future tense and we're going to use two definitives back to back. Tanai, chinai, tasang. Again with chin or chinai, we don't say this one passively. We get vocal aggressive about it. Chin. So in this case, Tanai, Chinai, Tasan, the black bear will eat the fish. Tanai, Chinai, Tasan, Nangjaragan Unsit.
Tanai Chinai Tasang.
Perfect.
I have a question, Doc Juice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with the order with the nouns there, this is one of those sentences that changes if you have a pronoun, right? If you're using a pronoun in the sentence instead of a noun. I vaguely remember this from like the grammar boot camp thing that for some reason, if you use like two nouns, they go in a certain order. And if you use two pronouns, they go, I can't remember if it's in the same order or a different order. But if you have like one of these is replaced, like if you're saying the black bear will eat it, like a vague thing, or if you're saying like he will eat the fish, I feel like it starts to rearrange when you have to put the pronouns. You can't just like directly swap them out. Am I off base with that? I just have a
Well,
vague memory of it.
well, let's play around with it. Let's say it's John. And so the pronoun uh, would go in place of the first definitive. So now we have John will eat the fish. Or we could have Hal Wadu um, or he or she will eat the fish. Um, yeah, so the pronoun is going to go in place of the first definitive. Like if we're comparing this phrase with the one we just wrote, does that make sense? Or were you discussing something completely different?
I was thinking back to the grammar boot camp handout that we used a while back and how it had all of those different like slots for where nouns go.
Oh, got you. Um,
And I remember
this
there
has
being
it
some
as
times.
well.
What's that?
This book has it as well. The Haida Handbook, Level 1 Grammar Guide by Jordan Latchler. It was put out by SHI, uh, first edition, June 2004. I don't know if they've done a second edition. Do you have this book?
I don't. Is that on the SHI like in their files that they have?
I don't know if it's on their site. Like I know they sell uh, the Haida Language Dictionary. I would think this would be on their site for sale as well. But this also has a sentence pattern: noun subject, noun object, pronoun object, pronoun subject, and verb.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, is that like that's the, so if you have you have your pronoun for your subject, it has to go into that pronoun for the subject slot on that breakdown, right?
Mhm.
So
And it goes right before the verb.
right before the verb, right? And so if you were to do, well, hold on, I gotta switch back so I can see it. I double clicked on your face and now I can't make you small again.
Oh.
Oh no, what am I doing? There we go. Swap video insurance. I figured it out. That was really funny. You're just huge on my TV. No, because I was trying to see if I could see that through the camera, but I was able to see enough to see where you were pointing. If you were to say Chinai Hall Ta song, you're still saying the fish is the thing getting eaten.
Yeah,
But
because
you have to move
the
the pronoun to after the definitive that you're using. You're still using a definitive for fish, so you have to move the pronoun afterward, right? Because I think I'm more used to sentences where we have like the what did you just call them? There's the object and the subject. Yeah, the subject as a pronoun, and so it tends to be sentences like Chinai di ta song or Chinai hol ta song, right? Or something like that. And so
oh,
it trips me up when we have a sentence that's like ta nai chi nai ta song, because I start to feel like I'm reading it and my brain wants to go, why is a fish eating a black bear? Because I'm
that
used to the person doing the action being right in front of the verb, but the order swaps because we're using two definitives.
but it's directly from the book. All I did was change the uh, tense ending to future. So we have Tanai Chinai Tagan, the bear is eating the fish.
Right. Because there's two definitives. So this is the right order for things. But I'm so used to seeing sentences that have that the action, the subject of the sentence, the person doing the action is we're using a pronoun. So it's that other slot. I'm just saying I think this is the sentence that trips me up the most, is when we have two definitives in a sentence.
Yeah, it's a little tricky with two definitives. Um, and then this next one, John Chinai Tasang, um, it's correct. Um, um, we, but there
Yeah,
is,
it's the same thing because a person's name is treated like a definitive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But if it were, if we did like, here, I'll type it. Well, does halt the pronoun have an accent over the A?
no,
It doesn't, right? Okay. That's the right order if there's a pronoun in there, right?
Um, it doesn't always, the pronoun doesn't always go in front of the verb though, even though a lot of times it does.
Okay.
Um, I'm looking in the Alaskan Hided Phrase book in case Dr. Alju has has it switched up, but she's not.
It's just me. Okay, you said you're looking in the phrase book, right?
Yeah,
I went in the dictionary to see if there were example sentences, and um it's the very start of the section for T on page 367. It has Singwadluan Chin Stung Haltagung. He eats 2 fish every day. And they've got the pronoun right in front of the verb there.
right.
And I think that's why a lot of the example sentences in the dictionary have pronouns in them for the actors to keep it pretty generic, I think. And
Yeah.
and so I think that's why I get thrown off, because I haven't ever really gone through the grammar boot camp guide, and I haven't found the one that you just showed me. So I think that's something I'm gonna have to really work on.
Yeah, so now we see that um there's two different ways of um of phrasing with the pronoun. So what you have is correct, he or she will eat the fish. And then but also we have John Chinai Tasang. John will eat the fish. And they're both correct.
Right. But like Chinai John Ta song would not be good.
Yeah.
That's not what it wouldn't be good for John.
Right. The fish will eat John. uh, but yeah, I'm grateful for um, Dr. Jordan Latchler's work. Uh, when we do need the format,
Which one did you say that was again? It's the grammar guide.
it starts off with the Haida Handbook,
The Haida.
Level 1. And then it says Grammar Guide, Jordan Latchler, Alaska Heritage Institute, first edition, June 2004. And it's copyrighted by SHI, so I would assume that they have it on their site for sale.
I'll have
But
to go digging and see if I can find it, because that
yeah,
helped me a lot.
there is a lot in here. Um, when to use possessive, postpositional phrases.
It sounds familiar. I feel like did he publish parts of it on the Haida Language website? Maybe?
I'm not certain.
I think I'll go start there and look, but I can do that later. Totally derailed you.
Um, yeah, this is a great, great book. Um, like I get thrown off, like in our questions, like mine have been ending in ejun, but they don't always. It could be ija, 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 uja, and so on. And um, Dr. Jordan Lashler um, um, talks about it towards the end of this book. Um, when to um, when to make that change, um, which comes in handy, um, especially with irregular verbs. There's also Ijan. I'm sure it goes on. um, oh, 1258. Um, okay, so we have Gistuijan, Nangjadigan Unsit Dashwe Gusu,
Gistu Yijing.
and the response is Nangjada Uijan. This is a girl, female, or woman. Nangjada Uijan. Nangjadigan Unsit.
Nangjada Uijing.
Um, and we have Gistuijan, but we won't repeat it. Um, the response this time is Nang Ishlanga. Now here's a question. Is this Nang Ishlanga Uijan? Or would Dr. Al-Ju take the and the U and blend it together to become ow? Now I believe they are separate, just like we did with Nangjara Uijan. Nang Ishlanga Uijan. This is a boy, male, or man. Nang Ishlanga Uijan.
Nang Ishlinga Uijing.
On. Okay, now we're taking the pronoun and putting it into the question. Kuskia Nanjadas Istam. What is the girl doing? Kuskia Nanjadas Istam. Kuskia Nanjadas Istam. Nanjada Ganunsit.
Guskya Nangjadas Istang.
Um, and in our next class, we will have the responses to what she is doing um, and what he is doing. But it is now 1 o'clock. Um, weekend guy lost. Have a good weekend. How
Hawa.